You know, I get so excited. I get so excited when I get an opportunity like this, using my platform to talk to the youth, to talk to you. You doing your Matric this year, you as our future leaders. I get so excited that I have the opportunity to add value to your life. You know, I just noticed the other day, according to our population statistics, the youth constitutes about 37% of the total population. Now, the actual percentage, that might fluctuate, so it's debatable. But one thing is for sure, and this is what I want you to get, and that is that the youth, they are 100% our future. You might feel overwhelmed by your circumstances. I mean, you've got this big mountain in front of you. You might be on the verge of giving up. And sometimes people don't even understand what you are going through. You know, those silent battles that you are fighting. You try to please everyone, but you are not happy. I would always tell people, and this is what I want to share with you as a matriculant. I always tell people, you know, me growing up, if I had to become an alcoholic or a gangster or a drug addict, if I became that, it would not have been a surprise. It would not have been a surprise because of the environment and the time in which I grew up in. It was almost expected. The system was set up for me to fail and everyone else like me at the time. It was the norm. It was the sad reality. But I'm talking to you today. You can break that curse. You can break the generational curse. You have the ability. I'm telling you today that you have the ability. You as a matriculant, even if you are a student or even if you are an adult, whoever you are watching and listening to me right now, I want to assure you that there is so much, I can't emphasize this enough, so much potential inside of you. Hidden talents, dormant abilities, all you can be but have not yet become. All you can do but have not yet done. It is how high you can reach but have not yet reached. It's hidden inside of you. You have the ability. It's all there. You are born with it. You are like a seed. Some seeds, they lay dormant for years, but in the right environment, the right circumstances, the right time, that seed, that specific seed, it will germinate. I think that the oldest recorded seed from which scientists were able to successfully regenerate a plant, I think it was something like 32,000 years old. So it's never too late. It is absolutely never too late. Even where you are sitting and listening and watching right now, it all depends on your environment. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Who you surround yourself with. And please listen to me. Who you surround yourself with, statistically, it affects your success. It's pretty straightforward, but it's an absolute fact. I think it was Jim Rohn who once said that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. So what you need to do is look around you. It's common for us, you know, it's common for us to underestimate the importance of the company that we keep. If you are a parent watching or listening to me right now, you know, how can I put this? Your presence, your support, and your love, it is so important for your child. Not just now, just be there for them. I'm thinking back when I was in Matric, and I don't want to give away my age here, 1993. I mean, there was a different century, can you believe it? I turned 17 years old in my Matric year. And things were tough. Things were very tough back then, during the dark days of apartheid and all the challenges that came along with that. Now, I don't always want to just go back there, but it made me who I am. I was on a farm for most of those years. And it was honestly, doesn't matter what people tell you, I have lived experience. It was honestly the worst place you could be at the time. The worst place. We were cut off from the rest of the world and we were at the mercy of a master. But that didn't get us down. In fact, I would often ponder, asking myself, while still caught up at the time, how can I use what I'm going through right now to fuel my growth? And you know, when I was in Matric, I wasn't very confident. I had a low self-esteem, and I'm not shy to say, I'm not shy to share it with you. I mean, I wasn't my teacher's favorite. I wasn't. I wasn't the cutest. I wasn't the most popular. I wasn't with the in crowd. I wasn't with the cool kids because I wasn't one of them. And I'm not shy to share it with you. And I'm sure that contributed to my lack of self-confidence, to my insecurities. I realized that I was my biggest stumbling block. And that's why, you know, that is why I derive so much joy, so much satisfaction by adding value to your life. It gives me the greatest, it's like a drug. That's why I have a passion and a love to help and inspire others, people like you to become the best version of yourself. I know what it's like to be on the other side of the fence. I know what it's like to be undervalued, to be overlooked. I know what it's like to be ostracized. I know what it's like to be ignored. I know. And you might be there right now as well. You know, all of us, we have a gift. We have a specific gift that we were blessed with. And I believe that gift is there to make an impact, to add value, to make a difference in this world. There's one thing that the good Lord has never blessed me with, and I'm not ashamed nor shy to share it with you right now. And I know I have viewers from all over the world. And that is, the good Lord has never blessed me with the ability to speak to a lot of people at the same time. And even now, I'm not speaking to a lot of people. I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm only speaking to you. I'm only speaking to you, watching and listening to me right now. Only speaking to you. And I want to tell you, don't ever think, and please let it sink in, don't ever think that you are not worthy. Don't ever think that you are not enough. Remember, you are not defined by your environment. Take it from someone who has been there. You are defined by the choices that you make. Very importantly, you know, your choices, it determines your destiny. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to be different. I remember, I think it was in primary school, I went home the one day, I was very emotional. I told my mom, I said, Mom, they say I'm different. I expected a sympathetic answer from her. I really did. You know what she said? She said, yes, they're right. You are different. And you know why? Because they are all the same. Now let that marinate for a little while. Think about that. I mentioned earlier to you about not being the teacher's favorite, not being the coolest, not being part of the in crowd. Perhaps that's you as well, as a matriculant. And I know you worry about your exams, but you also have this weight. I can't tell you how many times those teachers and those school kids, how many times over the years, and I'm sharing this with you today, they have asked me for a job or for a favor. They have asked me to put in a good word for them. Your time will come. So don't you worry. That is the message. Focus on you. Allow God to bring justice in your life. You know, my default setting, talking about God, my default setting is God's word, and I have a passion for Christ. I do. I have a passion to study God's word. And you see that it's just a passion of mine. It's what I spend most of my free time with. And I want to share this with you. You know, David in the Bible, King David, his greatest temptation was not Bathsheba naked on a roof taking a bath. That wasn't his greatest temptation. That was his greatest weakness. It was his greatest failure. His greatest temptation came when the man Saul that he loved, he made music to, the man that he honored, he respected as a father, the man who he never wanted to disappoint, the man who he was willing to lay down his life for. When that man one day, out of jealousy, took a spear, threw it at him, wanted to kill him, and David had to flee. And you know the story if you are also an astute student of God's word. You know about the cave when Saul went in there to go do his business, to relieve himself. But he was completely oblivious of the fact, completely unaware that David was hiding from him in the same cave. But David, the big difference was, David was armed. Saul was not. And that was the moment that I believe was David's greatest temptation. He would have been justified to retaliate. He would have been justified to seek revenge. He would have been justified to kill, but he didn't. You might also be wondering, thinking there where you are right now, watching this video, thinking, after the exams, what am I going to study? Am I going to study? Is there money to study? But I want to encourage you today, and I think that is what I really want to get across to you. I want to tell you, don't worry. Once again, don't worry. Focus on your exams for now. Just focus there. That is what success is. And these principles is like laws that are universal, and it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with where you come from, with your financial situation, with your ethnicity, with how popular you are or not. There's nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with your culture, because the laws of success is universal. They work for anyone and everyone who are willing to commit to it. Success is not a pursuit. You don't pursue success. If you want to be successful in life, don't try to be successful. If you want to be successful, it might not make sense to you. It might be like a dichotomy, but don't try to be successful. Just have a passion for what you do. Be dedicated to it, and success will find you. Success is a result of obedience to the laws, to your cause, to your purpose, to committing. Success is not what you have done compared to what others have done. Because there will always be someone. There will always be someone. I don't have to remind you that is better than you, and also someone who is less than you. Winning doesn't always mean coming first. Doesn't always mean coming first. That's not the only thing that winning is being measured by. And let me explain to you. You could be second last, but you are still winning. You're still winning because last time you were lost. Or last time you couldn't even get the courage to compete. So you are still winning. You are progressing in life. And that is what it's all about. I mentioned earlier about the generational curse. Perhaps you're the first one in your whole family who's doing Matric. You're the first one with this dream and aspirations to further your studies. You break that generational curse. You focus on yourself, but also important, you have to be strong in your faith, in your belief. That is so important. Parents play such an integral part of this whole process. This is a team effort. Where there's love and support, success will be there. My parents, they blessed me with the things that money can't buy. I think one of the greatest gifts that my parents gave me is simply they believed in me. And I want to encourage you as a parent to speak blessings over your child. So important. It's important for them to hear those words of affirmations coming from those people that they trust and love. You as the parent. And I want to say to you as the parent, trying to live your life vicariously through your child. Be careful for that. You had your time, and that's also in the same breath. I want to say, guard your heart diligently against all things, for out of it flows the issues of life. The tongue, it has no bones, but it is strong enough to break a heart. Words, parents, when articulated and said in the right way, it can change someone's mind. It can change the trajectory of their whole life. It can alter someone's belief. Your child, you have the power, and words, it has the power to lift someone up from the pit of defeat and make a success out of them. It can make a success out of them. You have the power as the parent, or you can destroy someone's dreams. You can destroy someone's happiness. You can destroy someone's joy using only your words. Only your words. And that's why I want to say, parents, just be patient. Just love them. We've all been teenagers. I'm sure if our parents can share with everybody in the comment section below what you were like as a teenager, we would close our eyes. We wouldn't want to hear. You wouldn't want us to know. So give them time. Give them space. They are going through so much. Only thing we can be is just trust them. Believe in them. You've done what you could. You've done what you could. Now it's up to them to honor what you have taught them. But you must trust them. You must believe in them. You know what else? And I just, unfortunately, I want to touch on this as well. So please bear with me. And that is, not everybody that's writing their matric is going to pass. That's the reality. And I'm sure some of you might think, but Leonard, this video is there to encourage our matriculants, to motivate them. Why are you talking about failing? That's the reality. But the reason I'm mentioning that to you, I want to assure you this. You know, I know people who failed matric the first time around, went back the next year, were ridiculed, were mocked by their peers and sometimes even teachers, made fun of. They finished their matric, they passed it the second time around. They are successful business people today, doing very well. And if I'm saying well, very well off, they are so successful. They went back. I also know people who fell pregnant during matric and were written off by everyone around them. She had the baby, she went back to school. The baby daddy ignored her. To this day, she went back to school. She finished the matric. She's successfully married today, not to the baby's baby daddy. She's happy. I also know people who knew exactly what they wanted to become at 18, only to change their mind at 28. Then I also know people who didn't even go to university, but they are successful. They own businesses. They are happy. I also know people who took a gap year. There's nothing wrong with that. They took a gap year and they found their purpose. They found their passion. And I'm sharing this with you today because, you know, we read horror stories of matriculants who don't pass and then they do very irresponsible things. And we don't want you to do that. And I want also to tell you, don't you let other people rush you with their timelines, their idea of what your life should look like. You run your own race. Focus on yourself, on becoming the best version, not of them, of yourself. And remember that the hardest climbs always rewards us with the most beautiful views. But also, very importantly, don't forget that it's not the mountain that will defeat you, but that small grain of sand in your shoe that will. It's not the mountain, that small grain of sand in your shoe. Never forget three things. Never forget who you are, whose you are, and where you come from. Who you are, whose you are, and where you come from. You are wonderfully and fearfully made in the image of God. I want to assure you that God has a plan for your life. And I promise you today, as I'm sitting here, that His plan is far better and more excellent than your plan for your own life could ever be. So go on and make your school proud. Make your teachers proud. I want you to go and make your community proud. Isn't that beautiful? Make your community proud. Make your parents proud. Make them proud. They are irreplaceable. I want you to remember that. Respect and honor them. And even if you don't have parents, you know, I know it's a sensitive issue, but perhaps some of you are watching now, your parents have denied you. But you have an uncle or an aunt or a stranger that took you in and took care of you, who loved you like their own. I want you to appreciate them. I want you to go out and be the change that you wish to see in this world. Be the change that you wish to see in this world. And thank you so much, everybody. It's been a great honor. Honestly, it's been a great honor to share with you and to encourage you to become the best version of yourself. And I want to end off by saying, may God continue to bless you. Thank you so much.